Welcome to Apple's Supplier Responsibility to the Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct is based on the principle that every individual in Apple's supply chain deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. The Code of Conduct addresses empowering workers, labor and human rights, health and safety, environment, and accountability. Empowering workers starts with a quality education for suppliers, management, and its workers. On-the-job training begins with training regarding local laws, health and safety regulations, and Apple's Code of Conduct. It then creates opportunities for workers by creating supplier-employee education and development programs. SEED is the acronym. Courses are free, classrooms are set up in the factories, and Apple provides Mac computers for video conferencing to take the classes. The SEED program in 2015 had 558,692 participants. Next will be labor and human rights. The goal is to make sure every person working for Apple's suppliers are treated fairly. They closely partner with the suppliers to end bonded labor, underage labor, and excessive work hours. The principles that workers shouldn't go into debt to earn a paycheck is one of the guiding principles of Apple. This addresses the bonded labor, where workers pay recruitment fees before receiving a salary. Apple does not support unfair recruitment fees. When found, suppliers must repay workers all the fees paid, which in 2015 resulted in $4.7 million being returned to the workers. Apple audits 100% of the top 200 facilities at risk for bonded labor and conducted 69 special investigations in 2015. They've also partnered with International Organizations for Migration, IOM, to create programs to educate workers before leaving home. The education targets workers' rights and responsibilities, contract terms, the culture of employment, and how to report illegal practices and abuse. Next will be health and safety. Apple believes that there is a shortage of environment, health, and safety skills, EHS. In order to provide basic safety precautions and procedures, Apple established EHS Academy in 2013. It educates local managers on emergency preparedness and safety equipment issues, as well as environmental issues. In 2015, more than 1,590 projects were implemented by the students of EHS Academy. Apple works with a comprehensive emergency preparedness system to protect workers in events such as fire, earthquake, explosion, or other natural or occupational incidences. They use a regular site monitoring at all locations. In 2015, 40 suppliers were assessed, which covered approximately 1 million workers. Safety equipment is workers' most important tool is one of the principles of Apple's. Through the audits, they found some workers don't even know how to properly use safety equipment. So in 2015, they partnered with 3M to host workshops at suppliers' facilities. The environment would be next. Apple collaborates with suppliers to enforce strict environmental policies. Apple partners with suppliers to implement programs to explore cleaner, renewable energy sources and reduce carbon footprints. They've reduced outdated and inefficient heating, cooling, and lighting systems in 13 sites in 2015, which resulted in a reduction of over 13,800 metric tons of carbon emissions. In 2013, they started the Clean Water programs to reduce the use of fresh water. In 2015, they launched Clean Energy programs, which are the goal to reduce carbon emissions across the supply chain, which makes up 3/4 of Apple's total carbon footprint. They also launched waste diversion programs at 22 factories to assure that waste leaving its facilities were either reused or recycled products. That resulted in almost 74,000 metric tons of waste that was diverted from their landfills. Last will be the accountability, which is a 4-step process. The audit prioritization is a risk-based approach which considers social, environmental, health and business risks, geographic and commodity risks, planned spending, and previous audit performance. It also takes into account the concerns by external stakeholders, NGOs, which are non-governmental organizations, internal Apple teams, and anonymous complaint systems. The next phase would be on-site audit, which is led by Apple and a third party, which are experts trained in auditing protocol. You're graded on 500 data points and includes interviews, physical assessments, and document review. They seek core violations including underage workers, involuntary labor, and document falsification, intimidations of retaliation against workers, and significant environmental impacts. The next phase is addressing issues of noncompliance. You must have a corrective action within 2 weeks and an outline to fix the problems. Apple follows up on 30, 60, and 90-day intervals. And the final phase is a verification improvement process, which after 120 days, there is a site visit to verify the changes are in effect, or whether more time is needed, or whether a collaborative, tailored approach is required. In 2015, Apple has audited 640 of its suppliers. By working with suppliers instead of policing them, Apple improves their compliance significantly and builds their partnership, which improves the social, environmental, and global economy by building up its suppliers. In conclusion, Apple is very serious about its supplier code of conduct. This is evident by the care for all the people's rights as they work to empower, educate each person while supporting companies to improve and grow. Apple has led global initiatives to improve the health, welfare of the workers as well as the environment. Apple's zero tolerance is backed by supplier support to change and improve, often at Apple's expense. Apple's belief that every person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect is a primary focal point, as well as being good stewards to our global environment, which are the primary basis to the Code of Conduct. Thank you.